This is a presentation to address the third-party logistics company delivery issue. We will refer to third-party logistics companies as 3PL moving forward. The supply chain of the production process at Harley-Davidson York involves 3PL delivery of subassembled parts that are to arrive just in time to be staged for the continuous operation of the production line. Each trailer that is delivered is scheduled to arrive at a certain time each hour. There are 12 dock doors for delivery of parts. This is for 6 delivery areas on the docks and staging area, referred to as the marketplace. There are 30 minutes allotted time for the trailer to be unloaded. The dock doors are directly adjacent to the segment of the production line where needed. They are delivered in this manner so that parts require minimal transport to get where they need to be in the assembly process. The problem is, the 3PL companies are loading parts containers on the wrong trailers because they do not have the commodities assembled in time to be loaded on the proper trailer. If the containers arrive at the wrong dock door, they must be transported by forklift to the designated area in the marketplace. This causes a problem with the material handlers process because it initiates a safety infraction known as cross-docking, where containers must be transported by forklift during the unloading process to be placed in the proper area. This is a safety issue. This is a safety and efficiency issue. Cross-docking causes potential collisions in the dock area, as forklifts from different areas must cross paths with each other. Efficiency suffers because this traffic takes excessive time to get the material to where it needs to be. This is a safety concern because most loads must be transported in reverse, and operators are constantly having to be vigilant of other operators coming in the opposite direction. The dock area is not configured for continuous two-way traffic. A brainstorming session was conducted with managers, supervisors, and material handlers to consider solutions. This process yielded several ideas to contemplate. First of which was to form teams of assembly journeymen to go to the 3PL sites and retrain their people how to build subassemblies expeditiously. Second was to contact the 3PL management and urge them to utilize overtime to build ahead of schedule in order to have parts ready to ship on the right trailers. A third option would be to form teams of Harley managers, assembly journeymen, and material handlers as liaison to the 3PL companies and have their production process mimic Harley's process of tack times in an assembly cell to expedite the workflow to conform with the time restraints in which to have subassemblies completed. The same brainstorming team also conducted a devil's advocate session to address the downside of each solution. There were several downsides considered for each solution, but these were the key issues. In deploying a team of journeymen to help with bringing the 3PL teams up to standards, we felt they may feel as if they are being micromanaged or not trusted. This will also cause some monetary production costs to Harley-Davidson due to having to backfill positions in production and adding to payroll costs. The second solution of instructing the 3PLs to use overtime to keep up also could cause problems for the 3PL in their payroll expense as well as team member discontent over the added hours. The third solution of deploying a team of Harley-Davidson managers, journeymen, and material handlers as liaisons to the 3PL companies would be highly beneficial, but this could incur a feeling of mismanagement, micromanagement within the 3PL management as well. This would be a high monetary and production cost to Harley-Davidson. This slide depicts the matrix used to evaluate the best solution. Each criteria for success of the solution is weighted with a decimal measurement, and the sum of all measurements is 1, or 100%. Each of the proposed solutions will be graded on these criteria on a scale of 1 through 5, 1 being the solution is not likely to meet this criterion, through 5 being the solution will meet this criterion with a high level of proficiency. Each of these grades is multiplied by the weight. All scores are added for a total score. The solution with the highest final score is the optimal solution, which is reflected in the matrix. Deploying the liaison teams will be costly, but in the long run, the proficiency of production and increase in quality will offset this cost. There is also a decrease in safety issues, which is always a top priority at Harley-Davidson. At this point, a chart known as a PDPC, or Process Decision Program chart, is developed. This chart resembles an organizational chart in which the top level contains the solution to the problem. The next subordinate level contains phases in the process. Beneath the phases are the steps involved in these phases. This is followed by a what-if section, which identifies and addresses potential problems and contingency planning for each. Costly errors and problems can be mitigated ahead of time, and countermeasures can be developed for readiness with this plan. The solution with the highest final score is the optimal solution, which is reflected in the weighted matrix. Hence, deploying liaison teams is the plan. Deploying these teams will be costly, but in the long run, the proficiency of production and increasing quality will offset this cost. There's also a decrease in safety issues, which is always a top priority at Harley-Davidson. Here is the PDPC, which has been emailed to each of you for your review. In regard to ethical and environmental concerns regarding the implementation of this plan, none were noted. This problem has been ongoing and will continue to become a greater risk to material handlers. Production efficiency and standards will suffer if this is not addressed. The current practice is not sustainable. This plan of deploying seasoned managers and subject matter expert operators as advisors on site to 3PL companies is the best course of action. The tools and procedures by which this plan have been devised are proven for effective problem solving and decision making. Let's make Harley-Davidson York vehicle operations safe and efficient moving forward. Thank you.